think news is just breaking. They're trying to hand me the story right now that the United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has been subpoenaed by at least 3 committees. I'll read it as soon as I can get it. Pompeo subpoenaed for Ukraine documents as House committees accelerate impeachment inquiry. 3 committees schedule multiple depositions with key State Department officials over the next 2 weeks. So Rudy Giuliani seems to be getting his way. He's been all over Fox News the last 48 hours saying, I was sent by the State Department, I was sent by the State Department. If we're talking about intel and we're talking about cutouts, Rudy making clear that he was doing the bidding of people in high levels in the United States State Department.
And he thinks it's exculpatory, too, right? That he was sent out there on a mission, and therefore, because states signed off on it, it has to be legit and kosher, when in fact
Is he to blame, though, for Pompeo getting subpoenaed?
Yes, in part, absolutely. I mean, producing texts that show that the ambassador, the point man on Ukraine, was in cahoots with you while you were doing this, if not assigning you to do it, suggests that it wasn't just freelancing, but that it was an administrative directive to find dirt on a domestic political opponent, which, you know, further expands the scope of this scandal. So, yeah, Rudy is not exactly the world's best lawyer right now. He's causing more trouble for his client than he is helping solve, and I'm sure there are people in the administration who like nothing more than to see him get off of TV and stop showing his texts to the broader public.
A remarkable development, though, Donna Edwards. I mean, Mike Pompeo is someone who has had a meteoric rise in the Trump administration for being just Trumpy enough that Trump wasn't offended by his expertise or his boring lectures about policy as he was with other people like H.R. McMaster, or by his ideology, which he actually shared with John Bolton but managed to cover up from Trump, I guess. Now he has been sort of hit with a ton of bricks that is the corrupt way that Donald Trump does business, subpoenaed by 3 House committees.
Well, and I think, you know, Pompeo has been largely successful in sort of, you know, keeping at least an arm's length distance for everything that was going on in the White House. And now he's knee deep in it, and there's
not neck deep.
Well, that's true too. And you know, when I heard Rudy say, I have 40 text messages, I want to know from whom, when, you know, where in the State Department these came from. And so I think there's a lot to answer there. But to Charlie's point, I think it's really important for Democrats to be very, very focused and to not allow the story to get away from them, because thus far, this story tells a narrative that for all of the Mueller hearings and the investigation, that was not able to tell the story of candidate Trump in the way that we've told the story of President Trump.
And that's a great point, Donna, and it's a really easy story. It fits on a hat as small as a little red one with 4 letters. Donald Trump mobbed up U.S. foreign policy. That's it. And he got his mob family. It looks like Pompeo's going to be questioned to see if he was one of them. Rudy clearly on TV taking a victory lap for being one of them, involved in trying to corrupt U.S. foreign policy at the highest levels, asking another country's leader to dirty up the Bidens.
And that's why when you talk to Democrats close to this looming investigation, they say, look, as much as what Charlie says is true, that you want to have a fulsome investigation and bring in as many of the witnesses who may have dirt on their hands as well, what we already have before us is already looks like an impeachable offense. The quid pro quo is in the conversation.
That the White House released. You don't even need the complaint.
Well, the military aid was withheld, and then days later you have this phone call in which the president says, I need a favor. And so the information that the White House has given them, I was getting texts from Democratic aides saying, you just can't make this up. They've just given us what we need. And that was why the speaker, who had held out and, you know, with so much pressure on her over these months during the Mueller investigation, to even use the word impeachment, it now feels so confident. And you have these Democrats who are in these frontline districts, you know, Trump districts, like Alyssa Slotkin, he won 7 percentage points, by 7 percentage points, feeling comfortable in coming forward. So what I'm told is she wants this to be expeditious. She's not cutting off the other committees. She's saying, go ahead, do your work. But you know what? When we're ready to go on these articles related to Ukraine, those get sent to the judiciary. I'm going to ring the bell, and all the other committees, you guys send whatever you got at that time, and we're going to go.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.